Since the Russian law, since the rigging of the elections, since what we've seen happening in the country, we have been moving more and more rapidly into a quasi-Russian model.
The radicals and their foreign patrons, however, continuously attempt to fabricate excuses to destabilize the country and push for the Ukrainization of Georgia. The maiden scenario will not take place in Georgia. Georgia is a sovereign state, and the Georgian government will not allow it.
A fierce clash between Georgian President Salome Zourabichvili and Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze has erupted over the escalating protests demanding new elections. As thousands take to the streets, the president has sided with demonstrators, calling their demands for fresh elections legitimate and vowing to remain in power, claiming to be the only legitimate institution left in the country.
They can take measures, and that is up to them to select which measures they will take for those that are depriving Georgia from their right to elect their democratic government, and they have to support what is the peaceful demand of the Georgian population, which is new elections. We are not demanding a revolution. We are not putting demands on who has to get out of the... We are asking for new elections, but in conditions that will ensure that the will of the people will not be misrepresented or stolen again.
While Zourabichvili backs the peaceful demonstrators' call for new elections, Prime Minister Kobakhidze has struck a different tone, dismissing the protests as violent and blaming external forces for orchestrating unrest.
The radicals and their foreign patrons, however, continuously attempt to fabricate excuses to destabilize the country and push for the Ukrainization of Georgia. What they have yet to understand is that, unlike Ukraine in 2013, Georgia is an independent state with strong institutions and, most importantly, an experienced and wise population whose resilience cannot be shaken. The maiden scenario will not take place in Georgia. Georgia is a sovereign state, and the Georgian government will not allow it.
The conflict has intensified following the controversial October 26 parliamentary elections, which the opposition claims were manipulated with Russian influence to halt Georgia's aspirations for closer ties with the European Union. With tensions mounting, the EU lawmakers have called for a new parliamentary vote within a year to be held with international supervision and an independent election authority. As protests continue to shake the capital, with demonstrators clashing with police and more than 100 arrested, the battle between the president and prime minister is becoming a high-stakes power struggle, with both leaders framing the protests in diametrically opposed ways. While Zourabichvili presents herself as the defender of Georgia's democracy, Kobakhidze insists that the government is acting to protect the country's sovereignty and stability. With both sides entrenched in their positions, the fate of Georgia's future hangs in the balance.